Honorable members, I now believe that you've had sufficient time to check on your gadgets and also acquaint yourself with the Budget and Appropriations Committee report on the memorandum of the Nandi County Payroll Management Agreement between the KCB Bank and the County Government of Nandi. Therefore, the debate can resume. Honorable Sarah Mutwal, you had asked for a copy of the report. You now have the report. Honorable Isaac Mosbey, you now have a copy of the report. Yes, I have. Okay. What of Isaac Mosbey?
Give me 1 minute, Mr. Speaker. Hello.
The debate is on, honorable members. Honorable member from Tinderet.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, having read and gone through the report of Budget and Appropriation Committee, actually on proposed amendment of payroll management agreement between KCB Bank Limited and County Government of Nandi laid on this floor today, Honorable Speaker, I really support. Reason is nothing much, Honorable Speaker, because it's actually changes of the previous bill to the current bill, actually by extension. We are extending the credit period, which will charge interest, Honorable Speaker, from 30 days to 60 days. Honorable Speaker, remember we have a fixed amount regardless of the changes in credit period of 250,000. So whether we change from 30 days to 60 days, still the charges will remain to be 250,000. But Honorable Speaker, because of late in dispersing the treasury, if we could have allowed the 30 days to continue and delays for another probably 60 days, we are going to lose a lot of money. Since it is around 0.75% of the amount. Honorable Speaker, the actually cautions or helps us not to be charged and again retaining the charges 1,000 all through. Honorable Speaker, I stand to support. Thank you.
Honorable member from Terik.
A period of 1 month, and through the advisory from the team of budget, we have seen it has not worked effectively. This has risen to request of extension, and we have seen the reasons attached. It's well clear that it's going to help in sorting out the menace of the delay of our payroll and salaries to all the employees that have given out their sweat. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, all this also has been done through the guidance of the
Honorable Honorable Kipropa, you know what the standing orders provide. I was expecting you to move a motion that a question be put, but you did not do so. Honorable Isaac Mosbey.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, I want to take this opportunity indeed to thank you and your wisdom because I now have the report, and I think the entire House has the same report, and we are now debating from point of information, and I stand to support this motion. Indeed, what the committee has done is to be proactive so that if the delays takes, which we've now witnessed, it is taking over 2 months or even over 1 month, coming later towards the 3rd month. So what they've come up with is to improve on the previous law or act, which makes now, it makes it convenient. It makes it convenient. We know what the country is going through, and Nandi is not an island, and such a piece of legislation is helping indeed to cushion particularly the membership and the entire staff of the county government, so that instead of 1 month you have the Fuliza, the other month you don't have it, we have to come back here again to have a special sitting like this. I mean, it is timely, and I fully support the report, and that this is a report that has got a foresight. I thank the membership of that committee. I support, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Korir, do you wish to make a right of reply?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, I wish to thank the entire House, the membership, for supporting this motion. Mr. Speaker, sir, you realize that we've had challenges. Our employees, county employees, and even us as members and the employees from the county assembly have been suffering. Because if it takes a period of maybe 2 months, we are not certain about disbursements. I therefore wish that this is going to aid us and assist us so that we have efficiency in terms of working both in the employees, government side, and the county assembly. I therefore, because, Mr. Speaker, sir, if you take 0.5% of the entire amount that is borrowed, for thank and wish to support, I say thank you.
Honorable members, I'll proceed to put the question that this House adopts the County Budget and Appropriations Committee report on the amendment of the proposed payroll management agreement between the Kenya Commercial Bank Limited and the County Government of Nandi, laid on the floor of the House on 29th April 2024. Will as many as of similar opinion say aye?
Aye.
And will as many as of contrary opinion say nay? Ayes have it. Honorable members, you note that while proceeding to the prayers of the day, we had to rearrange the orders as it appear on the order paper, to the extent that we dealt with order number 9, and therefore we can have the order number 8. Honorable Korir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, I wish to move a motion that this House adopts the County Budget and Appropriations Committee report on the Nandi County Supplementary 2 budget estimates for the financial year 2023-2024, laid on the floor of this House on the 29th April 2024. Mr. Speaker, sir, on behalf of members of the County Budget and Appropriation Committee, and as required under standing orders, I wish to take this opportunity to present to this House our committee's report on the Nandi County Supplementary Estimates number 2 for the financial year 2023-2024, as submitted to the Assembly by the Executive Committee member for
Finance and Economic Planning on Thursday, the 4th of April 2024. Composition and mandate of the Committee on Budget and Appropriations. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Constitution of Kenya has placed a significant role to county assemblies on management and utilization of counties' resources as provided in Article 185. To effectively undertake this noble function and execution of a mandate as conferred, the County Assembly operates through committee system as envisaged in Section 14 of the County Government Act 2012 and the County Assembly Standing Orders. Thus, borrowing from the above provisions and furtherance of the law, the County Assembly established committees, among others, the Committee on Budget and Appropriations Committee. This was in adherence to the provisions of Standing Orders 189, which also confers a mandate to discuss, review estimates, make recommendations to the County Assembly, among other roles. Composition of the committee. Mr. Speaker, sir, this is the first Committee on Budget and Appropriations established on inauguration of the Third Assembly after the August 2022 general elections. As currently constituted, the committee comprises of the following members. Number 1, Honorable Edwin Kipchumba Korir, Chairperson. 2, Honorable John Kiprotich Keter, Vice Chairperson. 3, Honorable Walter Kiblaga Teno, Member. 4, Honorable Wilson Kipkirui Sang, Member. 5, Honorable Trufosa Kuto, Member. 6, Honorable Lucy Chepkemei, Member. And 7, Honorable Julius Kipruta Keter, Member. On the mandate, Mr. Speaker, sir, the Committee on Budget and Appropriations is established under Standing Orders 189 of the County Assembly of Nandi as mandated to A, discuss and review the estimates and make recommendations to the County Assembly. B, examine the county fiscal strategy paper presented to the County Assembly. C, examine the county debt management strategy paper presented to the County Assembly. D, examine bills related to county budget, including appropriations bills. And E, evaluate tax estimates, economy, and budgetary policies and programs with direct budget outlays. Mr. Speaker, sir, I wish to acknowledge, and at this juncture, allow me to thank your office, Mr. Speaker, sir, and that of the Clerk of Assembly for the logistical support accorded in successfully undertaking this exercise. The committee also extends our gratitude to the CCM in charge of County Treasury and committee members on budget, representatives, County Chief Executive Officer, County Treasury, and other county staff who found time to share with the committee in making clarifications and on the proposed budgetary allocations. Mr. Speaker, sir, I finally wish to also extend my gratitude to the able members of the committee for being enthusiastic in consideration of this first supplementary budget and amid the challenges faced. The members worked tirelessly and demonstrated the desire to deliver in undertaking this exercise through wide consultations, Mr. Speaker. I will not hesitate to, however, acknowledge the Secretariat of the committee for their significant contribution in providing technical support and compiling this report. Mr. Speaker, sir, on the legal framework, the Budget and Appropriations Committee is further given legal backing by the PFM Act 2012 and the Public Finance Management County Governments Regulations 2015 as follows. Mr. Speaker, sir, being guided on the section of 135 of the PFM Act 2012, it provides that we have quite a number, like we have, for example, Mr. Speaker, sir, a county government shall not submit a supplementary budget in support of the additional expenditure for authority for spending under subsection 1, which is indicated. And we also have quite a number, and I'll just quote one additional regulation, Mr. Speaker, sir, that if the county assembly is not sitting during the time contemplated in section 4 or sitting but adjourns before approval has been sought, approval shall be sought within the 14 days after its next sitting. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, I am reliably informed and I am aware that honorable members now are able to access, they are able to get this report in our gadget. It is actually posted there. They are able to confirm this. We are able to confirm in the gadget. And again, I have also done the posting at our own official group for entire county assembly in WhatsApp group. So we are able, I hope we will be in the same page as we analyze and move on. Mr. Speaker, sir, allow me then, Mr. Speaker, with your permission, Mr. Speaker, sir, basically, this is the second revision of the county budget estimates for the financial year 2023-2024 as approved in this House in June 2023. The Nandi County Supplementary 2 budget estimates for the financial year 2023-2024 are submitted was majorly necessitated by the following pertinent issues. Mr. Speaker, sir, issue number one is that there has been changes in the County Government Additional Allocation Act 2023 as assented by the President on the 4th of March 2024, which provides for additional allocations to county governments for the financial year 2023-2024. Number two, Mr. Speaker, sir, what necessitates the same supplementary budget 2 is that the budgeted projects and programs which will not be implemented by the June 2024 is also crucial and very important that necessitated the same rearrangement in the budget through a supplementary 2. Mr. Speaker, sir, the county executive and the county assembly, in compliance with the above provisions and in adherence to the procedures as provided under Standing Orders 218, that is under procedures and supplementary estimates, submitted their supplementary budget estimates too for the financial year 2023-2024. The estimates were laid on the table of this assembly on Thursday, 4th April 2024 afternoon sitting, and subsequently committed to the Committee on Budget and Appropriations for consideration and recommendations pursuant to the Standing Orders 189. Mr. Speaker, sir, on keen analysis, after we've deliberated as a committee, Mr. Speaker, the second supplementary budget estimates for financial year was occasioned by the following reasons. One, Mr. Speaker, sir, compliance with the County Government Additional Allocation Act 2023 with a grant of additional Kenya shillings 150 million from the national government for the establishment of industrial park. Additional Kenya shillings 254 million from development partners for Kenya Informal Settlement Improvement Project, that is KISIP. And two, Mr. Speaker, additional Kenya shillings 90,577,206 for financing locally led climate change, that is FLOCA, and reduction of Kenya shillings 50 million from the World Bank for National Agricultural Value Chain Development Partners Project, which is NAFCDP. Then reallocation to cater for deficits on the votes. And next, Mr. Speaker, regularization of reallocations done on specific budget lines. Mr. Speaker, sir, the second supplementary budget has seen the total county budget revenue increased by Kenya shillings 444,577,206, up from 9.3 billion as approved in the first supplementary budget to Kenya shillings, Mr. Speaker, sir, 9,850,666,466. The increase was occasioned by an increase in grants from both national government and development partners as contained in the County Government's Additional Allocations Government Act 2023 and the local revenue as shown in the table below. Mr. Speaker, sir, and honorable members, we are able to check and confirm that in the table you are able to witness the shift, the upward movement, the increment of the local revenue and that of the entire revenue. That takes us to total of 9.8 billion in the same table, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, the proposed submitted Nandi County Supplementary Budget 2 estimate for financial year 23-24 comprised of the following new ministerial total expenditure allocations as contained still in the table. Mr. Speaker, sir, the same is actually contained in the table, and we have, if I can just do a summary of the table, Mr. Speaker, sir, you are able to confirm in that same table that there is a title, that is of the ministerial or the department. Mr. Speaker, there is approved budget estimates for the financial year 2023-2024, and then there is supplementary 1 column on 2023-2024 for that financial year, and now the supplementary 2 firemen's that comprises of that table, 2023-2024 supplementary 2, and it shows you the variance, Mr. Speaker. So we have the positive and the negative variances depending on the reallocations, Mr. Speaker, sir. The above analysis indicates huge transfers for such ministries, the highest gaining being the lands, environment and natural resources and climate change, with an increase of Kenya shillings 386,577,206. Mr. Speaker, sir, the CCM is proposing a complete review to delete the following approved programs for the development expenditure for the financial year 2023-2024, whose budgetary figures were a total of Kenya shillings 78,875,292 as indicated in the column. So we have various votes that are actually proposed for deletion, and all is indicated in the table, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, you will allow me, because we will have a number of tables that are running around, and entirely in the report we have those adjustments. So as indicated, members are able to confirm what was done, the firemen that were done in the first supplementary, and again in the second supplementary. That is very clear in the tables, and we have what was budgeted, the original budget, and now the variances, and eventually it will take us to the entire amount that is left as part of balances. Allow me, Mr. Speaker, sir, with your permission, allow me, Mr. Speaker, sir, move to findings and observations by the committee. Mr. Speaker, sir, the committee made the following general observations on some key budget items in the submitted Nandi County County Supplementary 2 budget estimate for the financial year 23-24, as highlighted here below. Number one is the comparative analysis of proposed allocations in the submitted supplementary budget estimates 2 for financial year 23-24 had a development and recurrent budgets of Kenya shillings 3,601,093,920 and Kenya shillings 6,264,572,545, which translates to 136.5% development expenditure and 63.5% respectively. Mr. Speaker, sir, that one meets the threshold as per the regulation and as per the law guiding development versus the expenditure. B, the county government's expenditure on wages and personal emoluments is at 42.47%. This exceeds 35% as set out in Regulation 25, subsection 1 and subsection B of the PFM County Government Regulations 2015. The CCM, County Treasury for that matter, is required to have submitted a responsibility statement to the Assembly on how to address this pursuant to the provisions of Section 107 of the PFM Act 2012. Mr. Speaker, sir, here is the committee's recommendation. Mr. Speaker, arising from the foregoing, the Committee on Budget and Appropriations requests that this House approves the Nandi County Supplementary 2 budget estimates for the financial year 2023-2024 to enable the spending of the funds before 30th June 2024, subject to the following, that is, to the end of financial year. One, that the County Assembly sectoral committees to interrogate the budget implementation of their assigned sectors as outlined in Standing Orders 194, subsection 5 of the Nandi County Assembly. Mr. Speaker, sir, that will form a very crucial pertinent and part, Mr. Speaker, because that will now engage the various sectors, and we want to urge, as a committee, we want to urge the various sector committees to ensure that the same is interrogated well, so that implementation is done to the latter. Two, Mr. Speaker, sir, that the budget rationalization in line with Section 135 and 154 of the PFM Act 2012 be approved. Three, Mr. Speaker, that under D4432, that is Transport, Public Works and Infrastructure Development Department, reduce an allocation of acquisition of Maram and Maram site, whose initial allocation was Kenya shillings 20 million by 5 million, and reallocate to procurement of fuel for roadworks in the same department. Mr. Speaker, sir, it is an advisory from the committee that with consultations, the fuels that we now have might not be able to run us for the next 2 months. And we still see that there was still some good amount in terms of Maram. Therefore, we were proposing and giving that recommendation. Number four, that under D4423, County Assembly, reduce an allocation for construction and furnishing of County Assembly offices by another Kenya shillings 10 million from the initial reallocation, and reallocate Kenya shillings 5 to R4411, that is Nandi County Executive under economic item emergency relief, and Kenya shillings 5 million to R4426, which is Nandi finance and economic planning under economic items catering services. Mr. Speaker, sir, recommendation number 5, that the committee recommends the following revenue resource envelope. Mr. Speaker, in the table, we have that table that contains the county resource envelope for the financial year 2023-2024. We have that movement, we have the code, the revenue, we have the column indicating the variances from 2018 to 2019, 2019-2020, financial year 2020-2021, 21-22, 22-23, and now 23-24. So with that kind of movement, Mr. Speaker, sir, there is some recommendations in terms of various lines, and this also guided under the consultations of various departments and largely the Department of Finance and Economic Planning. So we have various lines, revenue lines, with their respective movements. Mr. Speaker, sir, recommendation number 6, that the summary of recommended expenditure for the supplementary budget estimates 23-24 by department will therefore appear as shown in the table below. Mr. Speaker, sir, again, we have that rearrangement in the various ministerial lines or various departments indicating the personal emoluments. We have recurrent expenditure estimates, other operating expenditures, development expenditure estimate, and we have the total estimates and their respective percentages. That will therefore give that as per the recommendation. So allow me, Mr. Speaker, sir, indicate that at personal emoluments is at 42.5%. We have personal estimates at 20.1%. We have recurrent expenditure at 1%, and we have 36.3% that is under development. The Speaker, sir, recommendation number 7, that the recommended budget summary in above table becomes the basis for the Supplementary Appropriation Act for the financial year 2023-2024. Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, pursuant to the provision of Section 135, subsection 2 and 4 of the PFM Act 2012 and Standing Orders 218, the Select Committee on County Budget and Appropriations recommends that this County Assembly adopts the report on the Select Committee on Budget, County Budget Appropriations, and the second supplementary budget estimates for the financial year 2023-2024 Nandi County budget. Mr. Speaker, tied to that, there are signatures appended by the honorable members for the committee of this budget. All of us appended our signatures, and that is, and again tied to it are the minutes, Mr. Speaker, of the approval of the same, and we also have the entire member signing as we approve the same, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, I would kindly request that this House move to adopt on the same, and just before I do that, Mr. Speaker, allow me request the Honorable Keter, John Keter, to second, Mr. Speaker. I thank you.
Honorable members, I'll proceed to propose that this House adopts the County Budget and Appropriations Committee report on the Nandi County Supplementary 2 budget estimates for financial year 2023-2024, laid on the floor of the House on 29th April 2024. Well, Honorable Korir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, I wish to move an amendment, Mr. Speaker, the motion on amendment on the Budget and Appropriations Committee report in respect to consideration of the Nandi County Supplementary 2 budget estimates for the financial year 2023-2024. Mr. Speaker, sir, I wish to propose that the Budget and Appropriations Committee report on the consideration of the Nandi County Supplementary 2 budget estimates for financial year 2023-24 be amended, including the following recommendation, Mr. Speaker, sir. 1, that under vote R4414, that is health and sanitation, reduce an allocation for economic item 22-11-001, medical drugs by Kenya shillings 6 million, and reallocate to economic item 22-20-201, maintenance of plant, machinery, and equipment. And 2, the Speaker, that reduce Kenya shillings 2.5 million under economic item 22.11.308, legal dues and fees, arbitration and compensation payments under vote R4425, office of the county attorney, reduce Kenya shillings 1.5 million under economic item 22.10.801, catering services, under vote R4411, county executive, and reduce Kenya shillings 1 million under economic item 22.10.801, catering services, under R4426, finance and economic planning, and deallocate the total amount of Kenya shillings 5 million to economic item 22.11.310, that is contracted professional services, under R44.2, county public service. The said amount will be used to source for an independent institution to carry out special audit on the Nandi County government human resource and aimed at establishing the actual Nandi County staffing and wage bill. 3, that under D4423, that is county assembly, Kenya shillings 10 million be reallocated back for construction and furnishing of the county assembly offices. And lastly, Mr. Speaker, sir, that the summary of recommended expenditures for the supplementary budget estimates to financial year 23-24 by department be amended as shown in the table below. The same table, Mr. Speaker, sir, will be able to cater for and capture the said amendments, Mr. Speaker, sir. I wish to move that amendment, and I wish to call upon Honorable John Keter to second the amendment. Thank you.
Honorable members, for guidance, honorable members, I also wish to propose that this House adopts the County Budget and Appropriations Committee report on the Nandi County Supplementary 2 budget estimates for financial year 2023-2024, laid on the floor of the House on 29th April 2024, with the 4 amendments as moved by the honorable member from Kapsimotwo. Honorable members, the floor is open. You can prosecute the amendments. Yes, honorable member from Kurgung Surungai.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this chance to support the motion of amendment by the chair, Budget and Appropriation Committee. Mr. Speaker, the recommendations given by the chair are very crucial. For example, amendment number 2, recommendation number 2 on contracting the professional services to do a professional audit on the payroll is one of the crucial things that we in this assembly had a deep discussion on during at one stage or at this particular house, Mr. Speaker. So the 5 million is necessary, Mr. Speaker, in order to allow that independent institution to do the necessary, Mr. Speaker. Same applies to recommendation number 1 on the reduction from the medical drugs by 6 million, reallocating the same to maintenance of plant machinery and equipment. Part of them are the ambulances and what have you at the Department of Health. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I support the amendment by the chair of Budget and Appropriation Committee. Thank you so much.
Honorable Pamela, you upstanding or? Honorable members, are you done canvassing these? Honorable Birech?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I raise to support the amendments raised by Chair Budget. And one most importantly that catches my eye, Honorable Speaker, is the amount that has been allocated to carry out independent audit to a Nandi County payroll of around 5 million. And on that basis, Honorable Speaker, alone gives me an audience to support the amendments as I keep my reservation for the main budget on actual supplementary later to give my views. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members, therefore, I'll proceed to put the question that the Budget and Appropriations Committee report on the consideration of the Nandi County Supplementary 2 budget estimates for financial 2023-2024 be amended by including the following recommendation. One, that under vote R4414, Health and Sanitation, reduce an allocation for economic item 2211001, medical drugs by 6 million and reallocate to economic item 222201, maintenance of plant machinery and equipment. 2, that reduce Kenya shillings 2.5 million under economic item 2211308, legal dues, stock fees, arbitration and compensation payments under vote R4425, the office of the county attorney. Reduce Kenya shillings 1.5 million under economic item 2210801, catering services under vote R4411, the county executive, and reduce Kenya shillings 1 million under economic item 2210801, catering services under vote R4426, finance and economic planning, and reallocate the total amount of Kenya shillings 5 million to economic item 2211310, contracted professional services, under vote R442, county public service. The said amount would be used to source for an independent institution to carry out special audit on the Nandi County government human resource aimed at establishing the actual Nandi County staffing and wage bill. 3, that under vote D4423, the county assembly, Kenya shillings 10 million be reallocated back for the construction and furnishing of the county assembly offices. And lastly, 4, that the summary of the recommended expenditure for the supplementary budget estimates 2 for financial year 2023-2024 by department be amended as shown in the table below. Will as many as of similar opinion say ayes?
Aye.
And will as many as of contrary opinion say nay? Ayes have it. So, honorable members, for the purposes of these proceedings, I also propose that this House adopts the County Budget and Appropriations Committee report on the Nandi County Supplementary 2 budget estimates for financial year 2023-2024 laid on the floor of the House on 29th April 2024 with the amendments. The debate is now on, back to the original motion with the amendments. Honorable Birech.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity once again to give my general views over this supplementary budget too. Honorable Speaker, I've been able to examine within the shortest time. Possible, Honorable Speaker, the current supplementary budget under discussion right now. And first, let me appreciate and thank the Budget and Appropriation Committee for this report they have given us. Honorable Speaker, I've been able to look at the reallocations and allocations. And that one alone, Honorable Speaker, gives us the basis to know who are the winners of this, who are the winners and losers of this supplementary to budget. Honorable Speaker, and I've been able to see that County Assembly have been affected largely on this supplementary budget. It has been reallocated 20 million, reallocation unallocated on amendment 10 million. It means, Honorable Speaker, we have lost around 10 million as a County Assembly. And Honorable Speaker, that one forms the basis of the losers. And the winners on this supplementary budget, Honorable Speaker, in most cases I've seen the emergency relief, which I think it will provide for the floods that's currently ongoing. They have been reallocated around 6 million, I think so. I've seen the county water and investment strategy and the lands and physical planning. Those forms the bat of the winners of around 10 million. Completion of county headquarters, Honorable Speaker, I think around 14 million. Fencing of fresh and produce market, around 16 million. And renovation of 8 ECT, and I think it would be prudent, Honorable Speaker, that we break down so that this issue of countywide is removed. I've seen the renovation of 8 VCT across the county, around 7 million. I think it would be very prudent if actually we will have a breakdown of that amount of 7 million to specific which visit is. Honorable Speaker, I've been able to notice that we have certain fortes that has been spared negatively. And I don't know, I would really want to understand when you spend afforded up to negative 10 million or negative 4 million, where do you get the power to respend a afford that has already been exhausted? And I think it will be prudent enough that in the near future we concentrate much and see that no thought is spent up to a negative, because if you want to spend again to negative 2 million, 1 million, it's quite not in good practice. It's very important in future that once a spot has been exhausted, it remains third until when a supplementary budget is required. Otherwise, the recommendations and because nothing much, Honorable Speaker, on this budget, nothing much, and I would request the House that we adopt this report as it is, because nothing much on this supplementary budget too, Honorable Speaker, and I stand to support. Thank you.
Honorable Isaac.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Supplementary budget, Mr. Speaker, according to my understanding, is drawn out of necessity, that certain situations necessitate the request for a supplementary budget. The honorable member from Tindred has highlighted a couple of areas, and I will also want to highlight a number of areas also that I need understanding further, even as I support this supplementary. For instance, when 5 million is requested for fuel in the roads department, it begs the question, where does the TSES, how is it affecting that department? I thought the idea of the CSES being in existence now should lower the requirement for fuel, because the tea estates, the tea companies are now providing fuels. So that a ward like mine, I've been unable to use even the fuel of the department, because I have sufficient fuel provided by the tea factories, which runs across all the wards where tea is being grown. So when I see a request for 5 million, I would rather have that 5 million remaining in the Maram sector, which is necessary, than to have fuel, which we already have more than excess. It has not been fully utilized in some wards. So we need some clarity, some understanding, so that we support that. I also look at a department like the county assembly. When we take a cut of up to 20 million.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
What point of order, Honorable Tildai?
Mr. Speaker, under standing order number 90, Mr. Speaker, accuracy of facts, Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Isaac, Mr. Speaker, is talking that we should not allocate for fuel, and what he is saying, Mr. Speaker, is that fuel is available in our factories, Mr. Speaker, and he doesn't see the issue of 5 million being allocated to fuel, Mr. Speaker, and I wanted him to give us facts, Mr. Speaker, to say that every ward is getting fuel from tea factories, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we have a ward like Chepterwai, we have a ward like Ndalat, Mr. Speaker. Let them tell us, Mr. Speaker, how they are going to get fuel from the same factories, because they are not growing tea, Mr. Speaker. So I wanted him to clarify that, so that if he clarifies, Mr. Speaker, and he says every word is getting fuel, like his word, Mr. Speaker, we will get facts, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Isaac, would you be mindful that...
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, there is one problem in this House which is affecting a number of members, including Honorable from Chepkunyuk. I said the tea growing wards have got, for instance, I can donate my allocation to a ward like Terik, which does not grow tea. So Kaptumo Kaboy may not need that fuel. So there is an offload, because is the honorable member trying to say the TSS program is not making a difference in the contribution towards the fuel? But that is my argument, and I'm not misleading the House, Mr. Speaker. I'm only...
Just for clarity, Honorable Isaac, I don't know whether the 5 million that has been sorted, has it only been allocated to, was it specifically allocated to Kaptumo, so that you don't need the 5 million? Probably, if you can be able to respond to that, the better.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. What I'm trying to say, Mr. Speaker, is that it is not to say that I'm saying, is the 5 million really necessary to go to fuel? Is it prudent for it to go to fuel when already some entities, some other program has provided fuel? That was mine is questioning the prudence. It's not really that I don't support it, but, and I've said, they will have a right of reply. That is the question I'm trying to seek later on, Mr. Speaker.
Point of information, Mr. Speaker.
He can inform me later on, Mr. Speaker, during his right of reply.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, sir, Honorable Tildai.
It is like Honorable Mosbe is not cutting me, Mr. Speaker, when I say he should clarify. Mr. Speaker, the wards which have been benefiting more includes this ward, mine, Mr. Speaker, in Jepkunyuk, maybe Kapsimotwa, Nandi Hills, and part of Kapchorwa. What about the others, Mr. Speaker, who don't have factories existing in their wards? That is what I'm asking.
Honorable Mosbe, proceed.
Mr. Speaker, for purposes of continuity of the debate, okay, let me withdraw that that argument on the 5 million. Let it be. Having said that, Mr. Speaker, I was looking also at the department like the administration and public service. It is taking a cut in this supplementary of 90 million. Then again, the question is, why was it allocated in the first place? Was it on need basis, really? Because if a department can take a cut of up to 90 million, the question is, how was it, why was it budgeted in the first place? What was it budgeted for? Because ours is to oversight. Maybe I'm happy that there is that cut, yes. But the question is, why was it there in the first place? Do we have a problem of absorption? The one for which is part of an amendment which we've passed, the one that I've seen for health, it is indeed necessary that they get such an allocation because I'm seeing health has taken a huge increase, Mr. Speaker, which even from the current situation, it means that the health really requires that kind of support. A department like education, which is delivering, I've seen they've gotten an increment. That again, it shows the prudence. And I think as we move forward, Mr. Speaker, making future budgets, it should be anchored, or it should actually, these supplementaries should inform the committee of budget. It should inform them in the future budget process, which we are already in it, so that they should be informed and allocate funds. They should allocate the funds on the basis of these persistent requests for supplementaries, so that in future we have minimal variations. Now, I have a department, or rather we have departments like sports, affairs, culture, and heritage. The other time we had given them, or rather they had requested about 25 million, which was supposed to equip the gym in the Kipchoge Sports Complex. The question is, how far have they gone? I've seen they've taken a cut again. So you wonder, where is the problem? We don't have balls in our sub-counties or in our wards and other necessary items in that department. So we are saying, when they take a cut, and yet we would want them to facilitate the youth. We would want them to see them present in our wards. Then the question is, why was it that way in the first place? Otherwise, I want to support this supplementary budget, and at the same time thank that committee for a job that is well done in the sense that they've analyzed, especially the amendments. The amendments are just outstanding, because without those amendments, I was seeing we would have a problem with it. Otherwise, Mr. Speaker, I support. Thank you.
Honorable Hassan Majani.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to contribute to this important bill. Honorable Speaker, let me first thank the committee for a well job done in actually coming up with recommendations and sitting down on the supplementary bill. Honorable Speaker, this bill, the supplementary budget, comes on the heel of we are supposed to be receiving by the physical paper, the budget for 2024-2025 tomorrow. So I think it's necessitated by the absorption rate with departments which are not using the money. And our honorable member from Tinderet actually laid out the winners and the losers of this supplementary budget. I have to commend the committee on the amendments that they produced. I, for once, really do support that the transport receive 5 more million for fuel. Because, Honorable Speaker, in Nandi County, there's discrepancies on how roads are being managed and being done. Other words, like Honorable Mosbey was saying, his word, they have so much fuel, they don't know what to do with it. Honorable Speaker, in a ward called Kabwareng, which is part of Nandi County, we have not done any roads, we don't have any fuel. The fuel we get, by the time it reaches my ward, the 500 liters they give me, they cut from the 500 liters they give me, they spend 100 liters on transportation only for the machinery to get to my ward, then I'm already at a loss. So I'm glad Honorable Member from Kaptumo Kaboi is saying he has so many fuel and you are able to donate to other wards that require this. We'll be so happy, Honorable Speaker, if those members, Honorable from Chepkunyuk, Honorable from Nandi Hills, if they cannot donate their fuels and also others, so that we are at par in road management with other wards. Because we're all elected honorable members and we are all working for the people of Nandi, it will be unfair that other members of Nandi County are happy with the road maintenance and other members in the next neighbor, they are not happy. So I really commend the committee for suggesting that the transportation committee transportation department receives 5 more million on fuel so that we are able to catch up. Honorable Speaker, the VTC and ECD renovations, I really would like the committee or when the chairman is given a chance to reply and tell us which ECDs in which wards are going to be renovated, which VTCs are going to be renovated, so that we are clear. The issue of saying county-wide, some members assume that even Kabwareng is not part of Nandi County. That's why they keep using this county-wide. So I humbly request, Honorable Speaker, to let the committee tell us which ECDs and VTC will be renovated. I have an ECD in my ward called Simatwet Ward, and with the rains, Honorable Speaker, the ECD fell down. Now that the schools are going to be open, the ECD's students will not go to those schools. So I humbly request, my humble prayer, that Speaker, you tell the committee to tell us those names of the schools that are being renovated so we know if we are part and parcel of this supplementary budget. Honorable Speaker, we also need a member from Kaptumo raised an issue of the absorption rate. And then the honorable member from Tinderet raised the issue of a department spending above their budget. This Honorable House, we need to know what is the threshold of spending a vote head after you have finished your vote head. Does it need to be approved by the House? For example, a Department of Sports, they've been given 20 million or 300 million. After they have spent 300 million, who authorizes them to spend more than what was passed on the budget? Because, Honorable Speaker, tomorrow I know the Assembly is going to receive the budget for the next financial year. This is going to guide us so that we know which departments is the absorption rate so high so we can add them more money, or if the absorption rate in a department is so low, we don't need to give them more money. Yet, they will now come for the supplementary budget because they have to spend the money before the fiscal year ends. Honorable Speaker, the amendment on wage bill and the to do an independent audit of the wage bill. Honorable Speaker, our wage bill is very high right now. And the countrywide, Even the president, they had a committee that was looking at the wage bill with the CRC. So for us, as a Nandi County, I think the committee did well in giving amending the money so that this independent audit, and I had recommended for this house to recommend that audit to be a forensic audit so that we get down to exactly why our wage bill is going up. I think when we first started, came to this house, the wage bill was about 42%, but now the COB is putting it at about 62%. So we really need, if members are going to get this ward fund in the next budget, if we don't tackle this wage bill issue, then it's going to be a problem. So I really commend the committee for the good work they have done, and I do support the bill. Thank you very much.
Honorable member from Kurgung Surungai.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this chance to first support the report by Budget and Appropriation Committee and applaud the good work done by the committee led by the chair. And I said by CPA from Tindred Ward, it doesn't have a lot of things to discuss here, Mr. Speaker, but allow me to highlight some of the recommendations given by the chair. One of the top most recommendation is recommendation number 1, that the County Assembly sectoral committees to interrogate the budget implementation of the assigned sectors as outlined in the standing order number 1945 of the Nandi County Assembly, Mr. Speaker. One of the major things that we need to make a follow-up thereafter, Mr. Speaker, say that I, as the chair of Health and Sanitation Committee, will be able to scrutinize on the implementation of Budget Supplementary 1 and the main budget to ascertain if true what has been done has been implemented to the latter. And, you know, as said by other members led by Kagoni here, they always say, to whom much is given, much is expected. So we believe also that for those departments that we have seen more resources being allocated, we expect to see much being reflected on the ground. I want also to support the additional reallocation of 5 million to the Department of Roads. It's evident enough that already the fourth head is already exhausted. It stands at 0. So, you know, for the department to keep up and running, you know, apart from the purchase of fuel meant for the machinery at the ward levels, that is for Maraming and what have you, Mr. Speaker, the same officers are supposed to go down. Some few weeks ago, I saw Chief Officer of Roads visiting some construction works with Honorable Mosbey at a particular ward, which is a good thing, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I need your protection, Mr. Speaker, because honorable members are discussing me instead of
you can
discussing.
What is it, Honorable Tarbey? No, not Tarbey.
Honorable members are busy discussing Honorable Mosbey, while the motion is quite clear. In fact, the honorable member from Kabwareng, I just kept my cool because he is alluding that I said
Standing
I'm becoming a donor. A donor of...
Standing order, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Ezra, just remain seated, please.
So, Honorable Speaker, I need your protection so that members can remain focused on the motion and not just discussing me, Mr. Speaker.
Apparently, the two honorable members that were making reference to your earlier statements, and more so, Honorable Ezra is indicating that you are crisscrossing your word with the Chief Officer Roads, unless you are able to, unless that is not factual.
It's true.
Then, Honorable Ezra, then you can proceed.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. And I want to make it clear, Mr. Speaker, that it was on a light note, and to prove that it's actually the department needs fuel for them to move up and down. And yes, some of the wards have let me not say sufficient fuel because of the presence of the TCES. And we have other, as said by Keter Halia, that we have some other wards that don't have these factories. And this one also, Mr. Speaker, it will allow them. It will allow them to be able to maintain some of the necessary roads that are supposed to be done, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I'm happy and I want to applaud that committee for this wonderful job. Although, Mr. Speaker, one of the critical that was captured here by the chair, Mr. Speaker, and the committee was the Department of Lands on the additional budget from the FLOCA, Mr. Speaker. I think, Mr. Speaker, already those are the things that have already been advertised, and we expect to see the process being done to ensure that at the end of the financial year, Mr. Speaker, we have work that has been done at our ward level, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I totally support the supplementary, or rather the report by this committee, Mr. Speaker. Thank you so much.
Honorable members, are we done debating this? Majority Leader, so your mic is on.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I also rise as one of the members of the committee to support the report. Honorable Speaker, I want to thank the chairman, Honorable Speaker, the APO chairman, Honorable Korir, for his leadership in the committee, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, it was a very detailed exercise, Honorable Speaker, to balance all these issues, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the way Honorable Chair has raised, Honorable Speaker, mainly the purpose of this supplementary budget, Honorable Speaker, was occasioned by the increment, Honorable Speaker, by some of the funds, Honorable Speaker, the way Honorable Ezra has raised, that is the funds from the FLOCA, Honorable Speaker, which was raised, Honorable Speaker. And when you check in the report, which actually the chairman and the committee, Honorable Speaker, have clearly indicated, Honorable Speaker, you can see that in the Department of Lands, Honorable Speaker, there was an increment actually from the total increment, Honorable Speaker, of the conditional grants. There was an increment from 652 million to 947 million. That shows there is a variance of 294 million 577,206. That's from the total grants, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the House is aware, Honorable Speaker, that the President signed into law a bill that was informing this increment, Honorable Speaker, and we want to thank His Excellency the President, Honorable Speaker, because we are part and parcel of the county that receive an increment from that allocation, Honorable Speaker. When you check, Honorable Speaker, and that I can read the report by the chairman, that the first supplementary budget, that was the amount was 9 billion. There's an increment of 444,577,206. That is in total increment of revenue, Honorable Speaker. That was occasioned by these conditional grants, Honorable Speaker, from the partners, Honorable Speaker. When you check, Honorable Speaker, let's say I can give an example of the KISIP, Honorable Speaker, and I want to thank the committee, Honorable Speaker, even the Lands Committee. I'm also a beneficiary of this, Honorable Speaker, that the two towns, that is Kaipiet and Kaiboi, already we have a plan to be demarcated, Honorable Speaker, so that we can get the clear survey in those towns, Honorable Speaker. And I think it's across the county, even the Honorable Mospei is a beneficiary, Honorable Speaker. So I think these are very, we love this, Honorable Speaker, because it will even increase those, and I can see Mospei is so happy, Honorable Speaker, because he is one of the beneficiaries of that, the KISI program, Honorable Speaker. So, Honorable Speaker, I'm happy that even Mospei say that he can support some of the members with this fuel, Honorable Speaker. And I know I don't have even any factory, Honorable Speaker, in Kabiet. I can request Honorable Mospei to support my word by giving me some of the fuel in Kaptumo Kaboy, because I can see he's a gentleman, Honorable Speaker, is a gentle honorable member, can support my word so that I can get some fuel, Honorable Speaker. So, Honorable Speaker, nevertheless, Honorable Speaker, we can see even an increment of industrial park in Jamase. We are having some increment, Honorable Speaker, so that we can ensure that the agenda of the president, that is the agenda of the program of the president, Honorable Speaker, is achieved. There's an increment from 150 million to 200 million. That's an increment of 50 million, Honorable Speaker. And that will out so that the industrial park in Jamase is completed on time as per the given timelines, Honorable Speaker. Again, Honorable Speaker, we have this issue of NAFCTPD, Honorable Speaker, and it's a very important component, Honorable Speaker, in agriculture. There is an increase from between 200 million to 250 million. That's 50 million increase in the NAFCTPD, Honorable Speaker. This actually is a very important component so that we can ensure that the groups across the county, these groups, that's celebrative groups and even CPOs, Honorable Speaker, can assess the funds which will be used to support those groups, Honorable Speaker, across the county. Honorable Speaker, I'm happy that in this budget, Honorable Speaker, the chairman also captured very clearly that there will be this fencing of fresh produce market in Kapsabet, Honorable Speaker. You know, Honorable Speaker, already the fresh produce market has been built. We are lacking the fencing, Honorable Speaker, and you know that's a very good place for the businessmen and women, Honorable Speaker. So we need this fencing so that we can allow these people to have a good working environment, Honorable Speaker, which may even protect their goods, Honorable Speaker, in the market. So we need this fencing, and I can see already that it has been allocated 20 million. Again, Honorable Speaker, on the emergency relief, Honorable Speaker, we are aware that today, nowadays it's raining a lot, Honorable Speaker, and we are aware some of the wards or some of the areas in our county have mudslide and landslide, Honorable Speaker, like in Tinderet, like in even the ward of German, that is Kapsimatwa. We have been experiencing some mudslides and landslide. So we need this money so that we can, if there is any eventuality that can occur, we can be having the budget so that we can address those issues, Honorable Speaker. I remember some of in the word of Honorable Edwin, I think there was some fire incident, Honorable Speaker, and we found that we had some challenges, Honorable Speaker, in supporting those people who were affected by the fire incident, Honorable Speaker, in Nandils. So this emergency relief will address those issues, Honorable Speaker. And lastly, Honorable Speaker, I can see we have an increment of 12 million for maintaining the buildings in the Department of Health, Honorable Speaker. And I think, Chairman, I can support this because in my ward, Honorable Speaker, I have an hospital called Kapkagaron Dispensary, which I found yesterday that the roof is leaking. So in this 12 million, Honorable Speaker, I hope also the issue of Kapkagaron Dispensary will be addressed so that I can get some allocation of addressing that leaking roof, Honorable Speaker. Otherwise, Honorable Speaker, I want to support this report together with amendment, and I want to laud the airport chairman, Honorable Korir, who is also, I think, is a CPA also. I was seeing Birej is bragging that he's the only CPA. Honorable Speaker, I'm also a member of CPA. So I support this report, Honorable Speaker, and I urge the House to support this report. Thank you. I support.
Honorable members, so that we can proceed unless there is any other submission by a member, we can, Honorable the Vice.
Mr. Speaker, I'll not repeat what my colleagues have already said. And Mr. Speaker, I only wanted to thank His Excellency the Governor, Mr. Speaker. I can see he's giving his promise, Mr. Speaker, to see the wage bill by requesting, Mr. Speaker, 5 million. So which means, Mr. Speaker, we are in the right track, and the Governor is Mr. Speaker, implementing what we agreed, Mr. Speaker. And I expect all honorable members to support this, Mr. Speaker, without moving sideshows, Mr. Speaker, anywhere, Mr. Speaker. We need to support that one so that this wage bill, Mr. Speaker, should come down. So as we cross the next financial year, we have a small reduction, Mr. Speaker, on the wage bill so that we get more money for development. And I think, Mr. Speaker, honorable members will be very happy as we implement the Water Development Fund, Mr. Speaker, because we'll have gotten some more funds for the same, Mr. Speaker. And seeing the mood, Mr. Speaker, I can see honorable members are very happy on the same, including my friend Honorable Sang, Mr. Speaker, and Honorable Grongo, together with the whip. They are very happy, Mr. Speaker, and they support this. So, Mr. Speaker, the government is supporting it, and we are very happy. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Tildai, are you insinuating that Honorable Whip, Honorable Sang, and Honorable Kirongo is the government? Because I've heard you say so.
Mr. Speaker, the whip is the whip of the leading party, Mr. Speaker, that's the ruling party. And the Deputy Speaker is the Deputy Speaker of the ruling party. And Kirongo, Mr. Speaker, although he is in the minority, Mr. Speaker, Musalia has already come to the ruling party, and he has supported, Mr. Speaker, the ruling party. Thank you.
You're misleading the House, Honorable Tildai. Honorable Kirongo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would advise members to avoid what Honorable Tildai is saying. Just to stand, Mr. Speaker, to commend the committee for what they've done. Mr. Speaker, it's not about what even the majority leader is saying, that he's talking of Kagaron, Mr. Speaker. He's talking of his dispensary, Mr. Speaker. We are not talking of that, Mr. Speaker, because here I want to be a statesman person and just support, because, Mr. Speaker, if we go by a dispensary, Mr. Speaker, if I go through this thing, I have nothing, Mr. Speaker, to say about it, my word. So, Mr. Speaker, I'm just saying, Mr. Speaker, let us support the report. It's just some estimates, Mr.
Point of order, Honorable Speaker.
Under what point of order, Honorable Teno? Honorable Kirongo, be seated. Yes.
I am supporting what I know from my word, Honorable Speaker. If Honorable Kirongo doesn't have anything, Honorable Speaker, it shows that he's not working for his people, Honorable Speaker.
That's why, Mr. Speaker, and that is why, Mr. Speaker, that is not fair. Because if we allow such discussion to go through, Mr. Speaker, and these all honorable members go through to ensure that we have one project, it's not enough for this budget, Mr. Speaker. That's why I'm saying, as far as I'm concerned, you know, I have, there's nothing allocated because, or maybe because he is in the budget committee. I'm not in budget committee, so that, Mr. Speaker, I was allocated such money. But, Mr. Speaker, we are saying we are leaders. We have other budgets coming, Mr. Speaker. But for this county to run, Mr. Speaker, let us pass this report with amendment. Mr. Speaker, I support. Thank you.
Honorable Kirongo, you should consider yourself lucky, because what I heard Honorable Teno say is that there are a number of emergencies, and in his ward, there is one of the dispensaries that is leaking. So that allocation was specifically meant for emergencies, and therefore you should consider yourself lucky that you don't have an emergency in your ward. Honorable Keter.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity so that I can also rise and support. Indeed, Mr. Speaker, sir, I know it has been, now we have rainy season, Mr. Speaker, and the most suffering person, Mr. Speaker, is my resident from Chemundu Kamngetin, because we are in a ward. As we speak, Mr. Speaker, I have seen municipality also, they have requested, and there is something on addition on that for an emergency, Mr. Speaker. Currently, I know even sewages, Mr. Speaker, have just passed in my ward, and it needs to be urgent to be addressed, Mr. Speaker. So in this budget, Mr. Speaker, I can see municipality is also requesting for some reorganization so that they can get funds for emergency, Mr. Speaker. So I only urge members to support this, because in the real sense, it was about departmental trying to rearrange and make sure that they utilize all the resources that they allocated earlier, Mr. Speaker. So in this case, I only urge members to support. Though I had Honorable Kirongo mentioning something about the budget committee, Is it trying to say that if you are in a member or budget, you have more extra, or what did it mean, Mr. Speaker? Because I am also in the same, but there is nothing which is added in my ward because I am in a budget, Mr. Speaker. So in this case, we are only allowing departmental to reorganize and see.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
Standing order, what Honorable
Standing order
Honorable
number 90.
Kitel, you can remain seated, please.
Standing order number 90 on accuracy of fact. Mr. Speaker, the whip is misleading the House when he says his word receives nothing. Yet a few minutes ago, he was praising the committee for the municipality getting something, which where a huge part of his ward sits in the municipality. So for him to attack, or rather to insinuate that the minority leader was out of order, he is himself out of order. And Mr. Speaker, because we are answerable to the public, the whip all the time, whenever he is contributing, Mr. Speaker, the public can only see the back of his head because of the positioning of the cameras. So, Mr. Speaker, going forward, because he's in charge of welfare also, Mr. Speaker, he should ensure that the cameras are placed somewhere there so that the public can be able to see his face. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, sir, is it in order for Honorable Mosbey to say, they have only seen my back, why I can see everything clear, Mr. Speaker? It's not in order, Mr. Speaker. And by the way, Mr. Speaker,
members, I think just remain seated. Remain seated for a while. Honorable Mosbey, it is actually the chair to pronounce whether a member is out of order. And it is not proper for a colleague honorable member to give directions that honorable so and so is out of order. Is that correct, Honorable Mosbey?
Mr. Speaker, I stand guided.
Yes.
I withdraw.
Yes, it is only the chair who can give directions whether a member is out of order or otherwise. Honorable Kipruto, you've been asked, is it true that your ward has received nothing unless if your ward is not part of the municipality?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for protecting me. You see, my ward is called Jemunduga Mngetuny, Mr. Speaker. It's not called municipality. So it means even Koserait is municipality. I think the honorable member from Kaptumo Kaboy should be informed, Mr. Speaker. My ward is called Jemunduga Mngetuny. And we are lucky enough, Mr. Speaker, that part of that Jemunduga Mngetuny, we have the municipality, Mr. Speaker.
And that is exactly what he was saying, that you indicating, or rather you celebrating and applauding the committee for allocating some money to the municipality, and thereafter said that your ward has received nothing when your ward forms part of the Kapsabet municipality.
There is nothing new, Mr. Speaker. They have only rearranged. It is like you are taking it from the left hand, Mr. Speaker, and then you put to the left. It does not mean there is an additional fund from somewhere else, Mr. Speaker. So in this case, we have only reallocated money that it was meant maybe for buying a newspaper or tea, and then we are taking it to somewhere else to assist people in terms of repairing those sewerage, Mr. Speaker. So in this case, I want to inform the honorable member that we didn't have any other resources coming from out. It was only internally they managed to arrange and reallocate the money from different vote to the other. And now they are seeking our approval as a county assembly, Mr. Speaker. The rest, Mr. Speaker, so I stand to support that this motion we pass this allocation, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Honorable Deputy Speaker.
Okay, Honorable Speaker, I wish only to thank the members of the committee led by the chair And Honorable Speaker, if I'll still continue contributing, you'll deny me chance to say what I want to say. That Honorable Speaker, judging from the mood of the House, is that the members are contented with the report. And I wish to request you, Honorable Speaker, to put a question. I propose that you put a question, and I call upon Honorable Walder to second.
Honorable members, you've made that proposal, and the same has been seconded. That notwithstanding, we can now have the Honorable Chair to make a right of reply. And as you make a right of reply, there was a request by the Honorable Member from Kabwareng on issues ECDE and also the VTCs.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity. In my right of reply, allow me, Honorable Speaker, to first comment what was brought forward by Honorable Mosbey, the Honorable Member for Kaptumo. Honorable Speaker, I wish to let him know and the entire House that we did a widespread consultation from the departments. Before we touched on any coin, these were the proposals from the department. The Department of Roads Infrastructure found it fit that they will not be able to absorb the entire amount for Maram for the remaining 2 months. And we were running short of fuel that we might not be able, given the scheme that we have managed from the ward level, whereby we are sharing fuel, we are really not able to run that without the fuel. So that's why they say that they do reduce Maram and they add the amount on fuel. So that is why it was a widespread consultation, and they are the ones, because they are the implementing agencies, Mr. Speaker. I hope he is well informed. And number two, on the issue of fuel to do with CES, that is actually reported separately, Mr. Speaker, sir. It is reported in what we call A in aid, appropriation in aid, whereby an institution is allowed to collect money, collect revenue, and spend at the source, and then finally report to the agencies, the department in finance. So the 5 million is actually going to aid the entire, because on their own analysis, there was going to be some shortage. So it's going to aid those members who are not able to have fuel substantially. I believe the same is actually clarified well. I thank you. On the second item, Mr. Speaker, sir, is to also respond on the issue raised by Honorable Member for Kabwareng. Mr. Speaker, sir, the same consultation was done through the departments, and they know of late there were some VTCs that they were actually set to be opened by the Minister for Public Service, Honorable Moses Kuria. And some of the VTCs were actually repaired. They were actually repaired within the shortest time possible, and it was fit for the department. They saw that for uniformity, the remaining pathetic VTCs were actually to be repaired. And there is annexures to do with the same, the Honorable Member. The same will be guided. And I'm happy the Honorable Chair, Education is here. The same will actually be guided through the committee. So I believe no VTC or ECD is going to be left out, depending on the nature as it is. So the same is actually well guided. All this information we sourced, we actually ensured that the departments gave us what they required, and we gave also our view. So I want to thank the membership. I know we have contributed. It is very necessary that we pass this so that it allows us, like for example, we have something to do with Flocker. A number of projects are ongoing, and I know it will be able to help us do us a good deal before we end the financial year. So I want to say that we fully support. We request that we now support the entire debate so that we can be able to have the department spend on the funds available for them. Otherwise, I want to thank all of you honorable members. I know tomorrow we will be able to receive the budget estimates. So if we pass this, then it will give us enough time as a committee to now deliberate and as a house to deliberate on the much awaited budget model that is going to tackle the Ward Development Fund. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, I'll therefore proceed to put the question that this House adopt the County Budget and Appropriations Committee report on the Nandi County Supplementary 2 budget estimates for the financial year 2023-2024 laid on the floor of the House on 29th April 2024 with amendments. Will as many as of similar opinion say ayes?
Aye.
And will as many as of contrary opinion say nay? Ayes have it. Next order.
Order number 10, adjournment.
Honorable members, the House stands adjourned until 2:30 p.m.